And I'd like to call to order the Finance Committee meeting for March 25th, 2025 at 5:50 p.m. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Attendance roll call.
Alderpersons Wolf.
Here.
Schrader.
Here.
And Madden.
Here.
We have a quorum present.
Thank you. Public meeting notice?
This meeting was noticed in accordance with the open meeting law on Friday, March 21st, 2025.
Thank you. Approval of the minutes from the Finance Committee meeting on March 11th?
Move to approve. Second.
Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. New business. Recommend approval of the award of bid for the 2025-2026 Parks, Boulevards, Terraces, and Facility Landscaping Services.
Move to approve.
Second.
As you can see in your packet, we put this out for a request of new bids since we only received one last time. We did receive a couple, but the existing or the bidder that was in the low last time was the low one again this time. Any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. Looking at this, it really doesn't seem that the 2026, were they aware of the less services they had to do?
I'm sorry, what?
Well, from 25 to 26, 2025 to 2026, there'll be less service that they have to provide, right? And the bid doesn't.
From 25 to 26, because there's some stuff we don't do every year. So yes, the scope.
But I'm just saying in 26 though, we're going to start cutting grass. We have the lawnmower, some of that's going to start taking effect on the, and really I'm looking at this bid, everybody was aware that there'll be less for them to do on their contract?
Correct.
That is correct?
Yes.
Okay, because it doesn't show really a reflection in the bid other than the one bidder.
Ryan's going to be here at 6.
Oh, here he comes.
Oh, there he is, right on cue. I was going to say, I said you were going to be here at 6, but you are here now, so.
You're up.
Come on up.
Alderman Wolf's got a question on the scope of services for the landscape contract from 25 to 26.
I might have to turn it on.
Specifically regarding the grass that we're planning on taking over.
Yeah, Manchester.
So the question I have is that when I'm looking at this bid, for 2026, everybody's aware that it'll be less for them to do when they made this bid because the numbers really don't reflect that.
The numbers
except for one bid.
Do you have the number? Yeah.
Yep. So Snow Patrol did not read everything it looks like because we took out the mulch in the second year, so we're going to mulch the first round this year. And they just gave us numbers for numbers. They didn't really investigate too much. And it looks like Red Tail did the same thing.
Okay, but they were aware of it. That was my question.
Yeah, it's all in the bid manual.
Okay. I mean, as long as we went through the process, I just want to make sure everything is equal for everybody.
Yeah.
And then the other question I have on this is that, what is the 2024 budget? I see they're going to win at 175. What is the current budget that we were in? Is there a savings from last year to this year?
Well, the scope of services changed dramatically because we're doing more in-house. We're not having, there's some things.
This year too, we'll be doing more in-house?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot more in-house.
And I know the last meeting I asked Scott for the numbers to justify that we're spending this money on a lawnmower and we're going to be doing more services. And that's what I want to know what we're reflecting. I have no numbers here to approve this because I asked for the numbers from 24 till now, what the savings will be. And then I asked what it'll be in the future too. And it's not telling me anything. If we're going to spend $70,000 and we're going to save $30,000, it doesn't make sense because now we have park or your employees, the city employees will be doing work on top of that. So there'll be costs involved in that as well.
Well,
so,
no, I mean, first of all,
we're not doing it now. So there's a labor cost.
There is a labor cost, but
there's a cost of machinery.
But we're not adding extra labor to do it. So we're just reallocating. We're finding efficiencies within our own departments to be able to do this.
But they're taking labor away from the contract. So
right.
I want to see some realistic saving numbers here. I'm really getting serious about looking at this money and where it's going. And what we're doing with the road program, like I said last time, I want to move that money into the road program. I'd like to see how much is in here to be moved into the road program as well. I mean,
Two
that's something-
separate subjects. We can talk, we plan on talking about the roads separately.
But it isn't two subjects because there's no
it is.
savings being showed here.
But there is.
Well, the numbers I asked for are not being presented
When
today.
did you ask for specific numbers on
I
this?
asked Scott at last meeting. Look it up.
I mean,
Look at the
the
last
questions
meeting.
that you had last meeting were answered at the meeting. I didn't realize you
No,
had
they
anything
weren't.
specific.
He said they would be able to bring him, he'd have to do it. He said, but it's hard to tell. I said, well, I need estimates. I mean, I don't know what we're saving here and what we're doing. It all looks good on paper, but it doesn't tell me anything. There's no realistic numbers here.
Alderman Wolf, I can't speak for Scott, but I can tell you that as we went through previous year's contracts and trying to get this down towards more manageable in our operating budget, we cut things significantly, also working with my staff throughout the year, maybe doing a little more preventive maintenance. Tom has some budget in conservation where he went through and did a lot of tree pruning along with staff. We've done stuff within the parks just to kind of maintain at that point, and this kind of is a bare bones, make Janesville look good. And then the outlying areas are we're kind of having to neglect a little bit just to keep the price down.
Right.
Because
No, I
every year,
understand that.
everything kept on coming up. And the lawnmowers that I asked for, yes, they're going to help in the parks, but it's more or less planning for the future on top of that. Because
Right.
The stuff that we were using, we were getting it done, we weren't efficient with it.
But what I was looking for is what is the savings by us doing that versus what we're being charged by these other people? And it's not evident on this.
Well, if
on
we're
what I
paying,
have here.
I mean, just off the top of my head here, we're paying $70,000 for the lawnmower, right?
Correct, yeah.
$70,000 for the lawnmower. What's the life of the lawnmower?
These are going to be like a 10 to 15 year purchase.
Okay, so roughly on the
$7,000
low
a
end,
year.
say $7,000 a year for the lawnmower. So that's our hardware cost on it. In addition, we're not hiring extra labor. We're getting more efficient with our existing labor. So if we didn't do this, we're not going to be laying guys off, but they'd find other projects to be doing, but we're spreading them. We're spreading them thinner, I guess is the best way of putting it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Without reducing overtime. So it's a significant savings.
Well, yeah, and I just want to see some numbers. I don't know what we did last year to this year. It's going down on the contract side, but our cost is going up as well.
But our cost isn't going up more than the 7,000 and the contract's going down at like 30 to 40,000 now.
Yeah, there's maintenance and there's fuel and there's all kinds of other things.
I get that,
you know.
but there's a significant savings. And
But this is what I asked for from Scott, what the estimated.
I guess I missed the specific ask on that. We can get that for you. That's not a problem. But that specific ask, I didn't get that out of our conversation last
I was
meeting.
wishing Scott would have been here tonight. But anyway, that's fine. The other question I have is when I go into the common council, I guess I could wait for that, but I'll throw it out there right now because it's not listed in this unless it's on a different thing I got to
Does it
pull up.
have to
But
do with the landscape contract?
yes,
Okay.
we're going to do the parks, and I see you crossed off one of Manchester or somebody. You remember that part of that? It's not in front of me, but there is weed control. So we're using chemicals to do these parks. Now, I see, if I'm not mistaken, it was 25 and 26, the same parks are going to be done? Or are we going to rotate this to different parks, or are we only going to stay on certain parks for weed control?
There's areas that we have to specifically hire out for different needs, and then we're going with the same bare bones. Our soccer fields, a huge complaint example at Moreland, dandelions get too tall. We can't stay up with cutting. They can't even kick a soccer ball. That's where our smaller youth leagues are. It is the bare minimum for all these parks. As far as the herbicide, we don't fertilize anything. It is just more of a maintain at that point.
And is that for the whole park, or is it just for the fields?
That is for the whole park.
The whole
There
park.
are some areas like Bloom, we just take care of the actual playing surfaces because there's no point in us spraying outlying areas. We leave it more natural. So wherever you see like a playing field extended, if you take like Bloom Park, for example, there's no fences there besides a backstop. Picture the actual baseball field playing
right.
area or the rugby field
Right.
or the flag football. We'll do that area. All the outlying areas do not
No.
get anything.
And the question I have is are we going to rotate this through other parks as well for playing areas?
My staff also does, like, example, Park Arthur. We take care of all that in-house. All the, like, Danoon, Jensen. we spray all that ourselves. These are the areas that we have to pay more attention to.
No, I understand that. So I guess I get more, I have a park in my district,
Yep.
several of them. Are they
Yeah.
going to be, I don't remember seeing them on there,
Schmidt
but,
will not get done because it's not a playing surface. We cut the grass. It's safe, it's playable, but there's no reason to put pesticides on something that we don't need to.
okay. So, but the other parks in my district will be done from the playing
Yep.
fields.
Every park will get touched that has a playing surface within that playing surface.
Okay, I just
All
want to
line
see,
areas, no.
I just want to see if there's a rotating thing or what's going on with our money and what we're doing.
And that is all in we have it by map and it's all in the contract. It shows specifically where we're going and what we bid out.
Okay.
Any other questions? Any other questions on this side? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. License approvals. Recommend approval of a Class A liquor license for Sunfish Ventures LLC, DBA Lakeview Shell, located at South 76 West 17871 Janesville Road.
Move to approve. Second.
Sorry, what? Oh. Any discussion?
Is that a Shell station?
It's the old Johnny's.
What's that?
It's the old Johnny's.
Oh,
Got sold.
it's a Shell now?
You seconded?
Eileen.
Eileen did. Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Recommend approval of a full-service retail outlet for Raised Grain Brewery Company, LLC, DBA Raised Grain Brewing Company at Veterans Park, West 182, South 8175 Racine Avenue for Muskego National Night Out to be held August 13th, 2025 from 4:30 PM until 8:30 PM.
Move to approve. Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Voucher approval.
Recommend approval for vouchers. I always screw up on this because there we go. For utility vouchers in the amount of $10,074.07. Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes.
Recommend approval for refunds and tax settlements? Tax vouchers in the amount of $355,935.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes.
Recommend approval for general fund vouchers in the amount of $264,397.76. Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? That passes.
And then wire transfers recommended approval separately for debt service for $1,289,635.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes.
And recommend approval for payroll invoice transmittals for $412,743.07. Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Just a note on the general fund vouchers, there was, actually, no, not the general fund, that was the wire transfer.
Yeah.
Okay, was that,
Which one is
Debt
yours?
services?
what was your question?
Alderman
Which
Decker.
one? It was under,
Pages 5 and 6.
Alderman Decker had a question on vouchers for something for the Little Lake. Even though if you approve it tonight, I'm not going to release it until I have an explanation for him. It's a $300,000 one, which doesn't add up with any of these numbers. So I'm wondering if it's a typo. So I'll get back to you on it before we release it.
Well, so this number could be wrong on there?
The totals that are right, but I think there's a
Oh,
typo
okay.
in the one going for the Little Lake, and we're not going to pay it until I have an answer, but I just wanted to let you guys know that.
And then there was also a question about the lake, Little Lake Mesquite.
That's what I was referring to.
Lake Danoon, you had.
Oh, I'll check on both of them, but the Lake Danoon one, I think I answered it. The $300,000 one you had for the Little Lake, I got to look into, which I think is a typo. If there is no director's report, communications miscellaneous business as authorized by law, motion to adjourn would be in order.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. We are adjourned at 6:06.